What's up, guys? Game Fiend of all games, and I'm back giving you another drama script Saturday. And on this drama script Saturday, I'm gonna just go over the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. So let's start with the Roman Reigns and Rusev match. This match was basically a typical John Cena match. Rusev beat Roman throughout this whole match, and then the last 2 to 3 minutes did with typical 5 moves of doom, and then Roman Reigns wins. The part of the match at the very ending where I didn't like, where Rusev was using a chain and he put him in the freaking forgot what the move was called, but he puts him in the accolade. Yeah, he puts him in the accolade with the Russian chain over his mouth, and then you slowly, Rusev doesn't even, or Roman doesn't even try to play it like he powers out of it. Rusev just lets the chain go when the chain was already wrapped around his mouth. And then Samoan drop on the steel steps, and then spear for the win. So it's basically a typical John Cena match, and Roman retains the U.S. title. Bayley versus Dana Brooke. Dana focused on Bayley's injured shoulder for the whole match, and then Bayley just wound up winning from out of nowhere with the Bayley to belly. Enzo and Cass versus Anderson and Gallows was a very, very short match, and Anderson and Gallows wound up winning with the Magic Killer. Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins was the best match on the card up until Chris Jericho got involved. It was an extremely good match, but how Jericho was able to get into the cell is Kevin Owens took out a fire extinguisher and made it seem like by mistake he sprayed the referee with the fire extinguisher, making the backup ref open up the cage so the backup ref could get inside the cage and take the injured ref out, and that's how Jericho got inside the cage, and apparently Jericho had his own key and he locked in the cage. But the match was good until Jericho came in. I mean, I like the running power bomb through both tables that Seth gave Kevin Owens. I like that Seth Rollins, even though it was still 2v1 at that point, he was still putting up a good fight, just hitting people with the chairs and everything. But at the end, Jericho hit Rollins with the codebreaker after the match, and Owens hit him with the pop-up powerbomb through the match ended with pop-up powerbomb through 2 chairs, which I was like, I think that was kind of a weak finish. And then after the match was over, Jericho gave Rollins the codebreaker, but I think that was like a weak finish in my opinion. But up until Chris Jericho interfered, it was a good match, and then Jericho came and ruined it. TJV versus the Brian Kendrick. It was an okay match. I like how Brian Kendrick faked that he rolled his ankle coming off the top rope and suckered TJP into thinking that he was hurt. Then the Brian Kendrick just headbutted him in the nose, and then he put him in the captain's hook, and TJP tapped out. New Day versus Cesaro ended in a no DQ. I think this is the 3rd fucking pay-per-view where New Day's title match ended in a no contest. It's really getting annoying now. So for I think the 3rd straight pay-per-view in a row, the New Day's titles match ends in a throwaway, which I'm not happy about when it comes to that. Sasha Banks versus Charlotte was more brutal than I expected. The match started off with Sasha already going through the announcement table, because they started it how like Dean and Seth climbed the cage in their Hell in a Cell match. Well, they started climbing the outside of the cage, because first off, Charlotte attacked Sasha before the cage was even lowered. Then they both randomly started climbing the side of the cage, and then Charlotte just grabbed Sasha from while she was on top of the cage and power bombed her through the announcement table. Fake injury script. The match wasn't going to continue. And when the ref was about to announce Charlotte the champion by forfeit, Sasha got off the stretcher, went into the ring to fight Charlotte. The match officially started, and Sasha threw Charlotte into the cage and then ran both knees into Charlotte while her back was laying on the cage. I think there was one time Sasha put Charlotte through a table through the outside, and the finish was Charlotte threw Sasha onto a table that was supposed to break, and they did it twice, but since Sasha doesn't have much weight on her, the table didn't break. So Charlotte had to beat Sasha with the natural selection, and that's how Charlotte retained her women's title to become a 3-time women's champ and keeps her undefeated streak at pay-per-views. And now the deal with Sasha is they're going to have her keep winning at all the pay-per-views. So she may lose the title on shows like Raw's, but she's not going to lose it on pay-per-views. They want to build her undefeated streak up to build her character until they have her lose at a pay-per-view. Apparently rumors are going around saying it's supposed to last till WrestleMania. Who knows? And when it comes to the Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens feud, I think it's at its breaking point. Well, not at its breaking point. I think it's at its finish, because there's really nothing else that you could do now. Because Seth Rollins has had 2 matches and he didn't win any of those matches, and now you have the Survivor Series match where they may all 5 of them be on the same team, because Raw and finished with Seth Rollins helping Roman Reigns as he was getting jumped by Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens, because the main event of Raw was Roman Reigns versus Chris Jericho for the title. But that hinted like, is the Shield coming back? The crowd was chanting, "We want the Shield, we want the Shield," and Raw ended with Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns staring at each other. But it's odd. Well, Team Raw as of right now is Braun Strowman, Chris Jericho, and Kevin Owens. It'd be interesting to see if Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns get at it. A lot of conflict of interest there for that team. But yeah, Hell in a Cell was extremely slow. And I'm not talking about the Hell in a Cell match. I'm talking about the pay-per-view in general. Was very slow, very slow moving. And I gave it like a 1.5 out of 5. The only match that got my interest was the Seth Rollins versus the Kevin Owens match, but then Chris Jericho had to come and interfere and messed it up. So that's that. Latest news about the Undertaker. Apparently he'll be back for the 900th episode of SmackDown, which is around November 15th. And it's also being reported that WrestleMania 33, it seems like it'll be his last match. So, right now it seems the top candidate is John Cena, which Cena and Undertaker has been in rumors for the past 5 years now. So, hopefully it probably happened, but Undertaker's last WrestleMania match against John Cena? And who knows, anything can happen, right? It is the WWE. But that's going to wrap this up for this week's Drama Scripted Saturday. Remember, there's a Drama Scripted Saturday every Saturday. And if you like what you have witnessed, please remember to rate, comment, share this video, and subscribe. And until next Saturday, guys, later, and peace.